Hey, welcome to the Girl Get Up podcast. It is now officially 2025, a new year, a new focus. This is the perfect time to start setting new goals for growth and expansion, which is the reason why I have meticulously crafted a few new digital products that'll help you thrive both personally and professionally: the accountability planner for the creative woman, the how to guide for conducting a business brand analysis, and the ultimate resume toolkit, all designed to help you take your first steps toward a successful future. Go over to my stand store or go over to my website, www.yourinfinitedirection.com. Now, let's meet our new guest for our new episode. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Girl Get Up podcast. I am your host, the Aquarian Chancellor, and this is the podcast where I share my stories. I invite my guests on, they share their stories, all in hopes that it inspires you, the listening audience, to go out and discover your infinite possibilities. Okay, before we get started, of course, I got to run down my products and my services. I am the creator of the Career Strategies for Success guidebook and the Career Strategies for the Infinite Dreamer. Together, they are the foundation of the Infinite Dreamers program. It's a career curriculum designed for youth ages 16 to 25 that teaches them everything workforce related. So if you're interested in collaborating with me, if you're a business owner, a decision maker, or a part of a homeschooling community, please reach out to me. You can go to my website or you can email me. All of that will be in the description as usual. Y'all should know this. So with that, I have a guest today. He is an artist, he's a writer, and a producer of R&B music. His name is Mr. Kenny J. Welcome to the
Yeah,
podcast, Kenny J.
thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on here with your crew, with everybody that's popping on this Girl Get Up podcast. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Tell
Mhm.
the audience who you are and what you do.
I am a regular guy. I am, artists tends to be, really into themselves or whatever. I'm a really cool, low key guy. I don't like confusion. I'm a peaceful guy. I love positivity. I'm a father of three children and a grandson. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a cool dude. As a, just strip away everything. That's kind of who I am. I like a level of peace. I don't like foolishness, and I like to encourage. I like to give positive vibes and all of that sort of stuff. So that's me without the music.
That's you without the music. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
let's travel the journey
yeah,
leading
yeah,
up to the music.
yeah.
One of the questions that I always like to ask my guests: were there, like growing up, and were there experiences in your childhood that kind of, when you look back and you reflect now, that kind of give you an indication that you will be going into music?
Well, music has been a part of my psyche. My whole essence is music since I was 5. I don't ever remember, not thinking about music, thinking about sound, thinking about different aspects of music. Music has always been in my heart. It's just I couldn't run away from it if I wanted to.
Mhm.
It's like people retire from doing things that they've been doing for many years. Your music will be something that I do until the good Lord takes me home. This is just what it is for me. I couldn't. If I wasn't getting paid for it, I'll still do it.
So, in what capacity as grown up, did you, when you hear a lot of interviews of artists, they either grew up in the church or they
Mm-hmm.
were,
Yep.
part of choir at
Mm,
school. So, could you share those things with
yeah.
the audience so they
Yeah.
can get a vision of who you are?
Yeah, I grew up in church. Church is the backbone of my family.
Mm,
We love the Lord, and I'm the kid on the front row with the guitar, strumming. And I don't know what I'm doing at 5. And when the preacher get up, I would go to sleep. And my mother would come pick me up off the chair, take me back for a bologna sandwich. I eat the bologna sandwich. When the music starts back up, I'm, I'm like, peace, man. I got to go up here with this thing here and get it popping again. So that's me coming up. Every aspect of my life, church was church and music. So I was a part of the musician staff at the great church called Mount Sinai
mm,
in the Bronx, New York. I played there not only as a child. I grew up there. I kind of fostered my love for piano and organ and drums and all of that sort of stuff. And then I kind of branched off and went everywhere else. So I started there and matriculated into just kind of me just doing it in school. I was a part of a steel drum band. I was a part of the jazz band. I was a part of the choir. I was a part of everything music that you can imagine. I did play football. I loved it. I was good at it, but I liked music more. I didn't want to break a finger, stomp a toe. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to hurt myself at all. It was, I tell a story. I started as a freshman on the football team,
okay.
on the varsity squad of my high school football team. Started as a freshman, and I was kind of warring between, the football and the music,
Hmm. What was
or
that deciding factor for you?
I love music more. So I didn't care about being laughed at, and I was certainly clowned on by even the coaches.
Really?
Yeah, like Kenny had a spot, as a starter, as a ninth grader, as a freshman. I started as a freshman, and they look up, and I'm on the field with a big bass drum strapped to my stomach, with the high school band. So I went from starting on the varsity high school football team to playing the bass drum with the band. Like I love that a lot more than football. So
Did you have to run and change your clothes real quick before the game started?
I I always pay attention. Like the only thing that hyped me up was the band.
Right.
The only thing that I enjoyed out of that, I enjoyed football. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the competition. But when I heard the sound of the music coming from the stands, that's the thing that captivated me more. And so I think sometimes, when we're living our life, we kind of do the things that we think we do well. You know what I mean? We got to go towards the things that our passion speaks to when we wake up in the morning. Like when we wake up in the morning, the first thing we think about is what? Whatever that what is, that's kind of probably what you probably passionate at. That's where you probably needed to be. I wasn't gonna waste my time playing football. That's for me. For me, it was I wanted to do music, and I just did it. So that went to me doing the band. I did band. I did jazz band. I did choir. I did steel drum band. Steel drum band got an opportunity to play at the Waldorf Astoria back in the day for the World Games. We did that in high school. So those are the experiences that I love, and it kind of like continuously pushed me. After that, I graduated high school. In the midst of all of that, just kind of creating. And at that time, I really wasn't doing too much writing. Most of the time, that was just music stuff like piano. I would do background singing, but I just didn't like to sing in front of people
Hmm.
until I got caught one day, you know, just singing my head off, walking down an area of the school, and a friend of mine's caught me like, "Yo, that was you singing?" I was like, "Nah." He was like, "Man, there ain't nobody else around here," and it was me.
It's
And
interesting you brought, I'm sorry to cut you
yeah,
off, but I just want to say it's interesting you brought that up because one of my questions to you was
mm-hmm,
going to be who do you have to become to go out on that stage and really perform? Because
Hmm.
it does, you know what I mean? Like if you're not used to being center
Hmm.
stage and center focus, you kind of have to have step into someone
Hmm.
other than yourself. Could you talk
Hmm.
about?
Yeah, for me, church gives you that uh, that je ne sais quoi, if you will. Church
Mm-hmm.
gives you, to me, church gave me um that level of knowing what to dig into when you're going before the people. So,
Mm-hmm.
in church, you dig into the spiritual realm. You articulate, you do, and you give your passion from what's inside of you. So when I'm on stage, I'm digging into a part of me that's love. So
Okay.
I'm digging into a part of me that's going to allow whoever is listening to me to understand my passion and understand that I love what I do. And this is just a reflection of what I do at home, right? So my love for people, my love for just positivity, all of that kind of shines out. You can fake it for so long out there doing your
Mm-hmm.
thing. You can do it so long. So I'm an artist. I can't get out there being disrespectful to women because that's not who I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't get out there and bees, put your hand in the air. I can't I can't do that because that goes against who I am. I'm a positive guy, and if I'm going to love women or put forth that idea out or perspective or mindset out that this is the way we're supposed to be towards women, I can't rightfully get out there and just kind of be shouting out crazy stuff, disrespecting women. That's just not my thing. Whoever do it, God bless him. But for me, I just can't. So I operate in who I am authentically. So anything out of that, I'm gonna be a fake and a fraud. So I got to be who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, be who you are.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the, or who rather, are some of the influences on your music,
Hmm.
past and present?
Yeah. So many, too many to name. Of course, I grew up mainly in the '90s. That to me was a very pivotal part in my musical life. Just hearing the sound of it. Music then, and the people were going towards something a little different than what they're doing now. So you have your Teddy Rileys, you have your Rodney Jerkinses, you have your artists, Brian McKnight, you have your Jodeci's, you have everybody in those eras. To me, of course, they even had their issues, but it just kind of like I could put a bookmark in that era because that era and those Babyface. I mean,
Yeah.
all of those sorts of guys that are still rocking today. These
Hmm.
are not people that's just doing tracks. These people are creating an essence of music that carried out the generations, that carried out the eras. These people created sounds. They created like New Jack Swing was Teddy Riley. That like that those are the people that I kind of not necessarily emulate but pay attention to because you have to be true to your sound. You cannot get out here and kind of mimic anybody. Nowadays you see a lot of people mimicking each other, I guess just because they think it's working. I don't know. I have to use the essence and the things that I'm comfortable with and kind of dig into those areas and watch those people who've really created genres throughout the
Hmm.
decades and until we are now. Nowadays, you have so many different producers, too many to name, and being that the computer is in force. So many people can drag and drop these days. Not too many people will play an actual instrument. Some do. I'm not saying they don't, but some people don't. Couldn't just have a sequencer um, and a keyboard and put out a record. They need that extra edge on dragging and dropping to make their song. I don't necessarily have to do that. So, um, of course, I went left with it, but I hope you gotta understand of the eras and the producers and the people that influenced me throughout the years.
Yeah, it's well, it's not funny, but
Mhm.
yesterday, because I kind of dig around on the people that I interviewed
Yeah.
before, and I saw a Facebook clip
Yeah.
of you in a car and you're listening to your own music.
Yeah.
And I could tell by the look on your face that you really, when you was listening, you really love your music. Like you can
Yeah.
see the love that
Yes.
you put in what you do. So
Hmm.
appreciate that because I think in the realm, in the world that we're in, where social media is the focal point, like we're doing this for social media, for likes and views, to see someone, visually see
Mm,
someone appreciating their own music and it ain't nothing to do with a like or a view.
yeah,
That you gotta respect that.
yeah.
You gotta respect that.
Rick Rubin, we know him from the Jay-Z era and him doing music
Mhm.
for him. And he made something. I never really thought about it this way until he really said it, kind of woke up something in me. He said, if you're a creator, when you're a creator, um, you don't necessarily do music for people on the outside. Normally you do it for yourself, in no uncertain terms. And if those people like to be included into that, it's good to see that people appreciate what you do. You don't necessarily do it for the fanfare. You do it because you're trying to get a message out, right? So every song that I write, more than likely, is going to have a positive essence to it. And that's something that I'm trying to get the world to see it from my view, right?
Mhm.
So I have to appreciate it first. I have to understand how that feels in me. I'm going to say this to your audience. It's important when you're doing stuff like that that you're not doing it for any other reason first other than yourself because it has to resonate with you. If it doesn't
Mhm.
resonate with you, more than likely it's probably not going to resonate with anybody else because you can't give it the true essence that it needs because it's not something that's you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, I'm not saying that I ride down the street and listen to my music with my windows down, like, yo, listen to this. Like, nah, most of the time, just like I was in that video, windows are up. It's just like everything that I do there is
It was
something that I would do
intimate.
without the cameras there, for
Mhm.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, dang, that kind of took me into another direction. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you at first, like, so I know that your genre is rhythm and blues. You
hmm
have an album out, which we're gonna talk about later,
Yeah.
which kind of did a little spin on. But what do you think about the quote unquote dying out of the rhythm and blues now? Because you
hmm
remember, we used to have those what jagged edge when they were
hmm
singing
hmm
about love all the
hmm
time.
hmm
But now, like you said, it's the B word, and a lot of the hip
Yeah.
hop and the rap has been
Yeah.
incorporated with the rhythm and blues. What are your thoughts about that?
These days it's a little different. Rhythm and blues R&B is not dead, never have been dead. I think it's not as popular as it used to be because the onset of rap, came in and let me say this. The powers that be, I'm not getting into that, but let's just say this. Sometimes the powers that be and the money that's pushed behind the foolishness is a lot more than love.
Mhm.
We have to see it from a level that people of influence that could push agendas that could benefit them, they would more than likely put that in a community that needs it. And they'll push it in a way that's allowing people to get money, but still kind of fitting their agenda. I can't be too specific with it because I don't want to get shut down. At the
We
end of the
understand.
day, at the end of the day, um, people that want to push positivity is going to push it. People
Mhm.
that's going to push negativity is going to push it. The positivity of music of R&B pushes love for our women. It pushes being sexy and not being sexy to a point where it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it pushes the envelope of degrading. That's where I'm drawing the line because I don't think anybody needs to be prostituted that way. I don't think anybody needs to be taken advantage of that way for money. Sometimes people do things like that because they're in chase of money, and that's when you're digging or going into a place where you're not being who you authentically is, and you're doing it for ulterior motives. So this day and time of music, everybody has got nice cars. Everybody is doing it for reasons that are probably not authentic. So I'm gonna just keep it there because I could go left. Maybe we'll have another conversation off the record when I tell you how I really feel about it. But
Mhm.
R&B isn't dead. Um, my vibe and the things that I do for positivity. So I'm still trying to love women and just kind of put out that essence of what a man or how a man should react or kind of take care of their ladies. I have daughters. I have a grandson. I want my grandson and my son to see a man really loving women the way that I think. So it's not disrespectful. It's loving them. It's really showing them that I want to rush off of work and I want to come home and get you and I want to take you out for a wonderful night and we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna love each other. And one of the songs I have on the new record is called Sweet Summer Day. And I want to send you to work on the Monday morning thinking about the weekend that we had, that sort of thing. So it has to be those seeds that we place in the earth that's going to allow women to know how much we love them. Also, I did a song, You're a Woman. You're a Woman is empowering women. This is what we should be doing anyway. But it's just the powers that be, take the negativity of it or anything that we do and try to kind of capitalize off of it in a negative way to make us look crazy.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
lets you know that people play up the fact of um and it's not true that
Mm.
men look at women a certain way. Like
Right.
they only look at women's value associated with sex, and then if it's not that, then
Right.
they have no worth and value, which is not true. So to
Right.
hear love in the music now instead of the degrading part is
Yeah.
refreshing.
Yeah.
That's all this conversation.
Because there a lack of it, our women are
Mhm.
more than likely going towards the degrading. More than
Yeah.
likely they're going towards those areas that are not going to profit them. And it's going to be disrespectful. It's going to have a high turnover rate with relationships. It's going to kind of end up in divorce. It's going to end up in, you know, for the streets. It's going to end up like that. So, I mean, when we as R&B singers and artists that are out here creatively, we have to put that essence in the world that kind of brings them back and encourage them, let them know that, yo, there's some dudes out here that really love y'all for what it is, not for anything else.
Yeah, and you think it extends far beyond the music because
Mm-hmm.
it's really a
Mm.
responsibility,
Absolutely.
honestly.
Mm.
Look at the and no hit to nobody, and I've said
Yeah.
this a million times because before I started doing the podcast, I was doing YouTube videos on
Mm.
YouTube. I kind of put those in a vote, but I
Yeah.
said this a million times about the whole BBL era
Mm.
because we were told and we were sold the image of what women's supposed to look
Supposed to
like,
look
and this
like.
is what men want, and then here we are 10 years later, and they saying we don't want that.
We don't want that. But what's crazy about it is like, why have we put ourselves in that position? And it's because
Yeah,
most times we're forced, like it's forced down the throats of people. It's forced. Like this is the way you're supposed to be. This is the way. It took away our whole identity. Like
yeah,
there's so many shapes and sizes and colors and shades to us, to our community and to our world. There's so many different sizes, so many different hair textures, so many different things. Like how many people are going to be 100% perfect from top to bottom, 24
nobody.
hours a day, 7 days a week?
Yeah.
But they put those false images out. Who knows why? I have my
It was
opinion.
money attached to it because when you
Absolutely.
saw the women, they was they was put on a pedestal,
Yeah.
honestly, of natural
Yeah.
woman. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They
Like it
selling
was money
products.
attached to it.
They
Yeah.
selling products. They selling clothes. This
Mhm.
is how you have to look. This is the brand you have to wear to be this. This is how your hair has to look. This is how your eye color got to be. This is how your eyelashes got to be. Dudes, this is what you need to wear to get the lady. It's all attached to money and
Yeah.
capitalism to me.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. It
Yeah.
sure is. Mhm.
I want to get back to filling the void that may exist in some minds. Maybe they don't think it exists. I don't know. But for me, I see a level in ministry. I'm saying level in ministry. A
It is a
level.
ministry.
It is. It's providing a service. You know what I mean? Ministry is service. So I'm providing a service to individuals that may not necessarily look. Some people get tired of that. Like we're raising families and we like why would we want to put those sorts of images in our family because it
Yeah.
creates chaos within the unit. Like we need to put love back in situations so that void of what used to not what's not there. I just want to put that positivity back out there, man. Who doesn't want to hear that they're gonna be empowered? Who doesn't want to hear that they're pretty? Who doesn't want to hear that we encourage you, keep doing what you're doing, baby? You're doing a good job. Who doesn't want to hear you're doing a phenomenal job, my man? Do your thing, bro. Who doesn't want to hear that? Yeah.
Mhm. Well, shout out to you. Oh, okay, so I'm going to go back to a question I wanted to ask you when you
Mm-hmm.
said that we were talking about the somewhat of the business part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping your music, like you said, empowering. What routines do you have as far as maintaining the business part that helps you to stay focused on your messaging?
Mm. It could get a little cloudy sometime, business
Mm,
wise, because it is hard to sometimes keep um the level of drive that you would want to keep. It's difficult. So with everything, there's going to be challenges. With everything, with every perspective, with every issue, whatever, you're gonna have an issue. You're gonna have some things that's gonna be like, I just don't feel like doing this today. And trust me, I have a whole lot more days doing that and trying to encourage myself to stay positive. Because
mhm,
there's so many things, that you can go to that's gonna kind of put you in that, like, I don't feel like doing nothing today. It's gonna be so many things that's gonna put you there. But you gotta surround yourself with perspectives and ideas and things that's going to help foster pushing to where you want to be. You cannot have negative people around you, and I don't. They will be because you become what you surround yourself around the most. So if you're putting yourself in rooms, if you're putting yourself in situations that are negative, more than likely you're going to be. So find yourself with a perspective or with an individual or with people around you that think highly or more highly than you. Have that
mhm,
essence of people around you, and it's okay to be called arrogant. It's okay. I was called arrogant for a long time, and people don't understand I'm not arrogant. I'm just comfortable in who I am. It's not arrogance. It's just like I don't think of myself better than anybody else. But you have to put yourself in those rooms and have those people around you that's going to help foster those sorts of positive energies. If for me, it's putting things around me that's going to help me push. So, Kick Up Your Heels is um, a Canadian company that see R&B music with another view. So to push the agenda. So you got to get with people. You have to put yourself in environments that's going to help push the business a little further. It ain't got nothing to do with genre, sex, color, any of that. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's whatever that agenda is. Place yourself around people that's going to help you push that agenda. For me, that's a healthy business model. Hope that
yeah.
answers your question. That's a lot. That was a lot, but
No, 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 that's good because sometimes in being in a public eye, sometimes you just can't be in certain rooms.
no, you
Noise,
can't.
you're gonna have to say no to certain environments, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not to protect it's not just to protect
Yep.
your reputation,
Mm-hmm.
but it's to protect your business as well. Like you
That's right.
really have to set clear boundaries.
That's right. In some rooms, I'll be honest, some rooms, if you're doing the best that your spirit is calling for you to do, right?
Mhm.
Your name will be mentioned in rooms that you're not even in. It's because they can probably see that everybody don't want to be messy. Everybody don't want to. Some people want to have that positive thing and understand something. Y'all women, to some degree, y'all run the world. If y'all ain't really know, I don't know. If
Yeah,
y'all
we
ain't
do.
really,
We do.
yeah, quiet as it's kept for sure.
Yeah. So I talk about careers here.
Mm-hmm.
What are some careers that you have had in your life that you can say helped you along your journey?
I was in logistics. Well, first of all, I was in insurance. I was an insurance rep. I used to write insurance for, I'm not going to mention their name. I ain't giving them no shine. But I was in insurance for a long time, and it taught me how to communicate. It taught me how to, see a problem and try to find a solution and do whatever I got to do to find that solution. So somebody comes and say, my house burned down and I have my business insurance attached to it. It's just so intricate with it. So you have to find a way to make sure that they get the best rate possible. Okay. So I went from that to getting into logistics. And logistics was basically warehousing, just driving forklifts and supervising. At that time, it was like I won't say what I've never done, but I was a guy without a college education at that time, um, that made over a certain amount and never made below that, because you always put yourself in situations where they're paying attention, and you're not doing it for the recognition. You're just doing it what you normally would normally do. When people pay attention to that, and they kind of want to put you up the ladder because they can see. I always had that level of leadership ability. I've always wanted to be not necessarily in charge, but wanted to keep everything organized to that degree. So I went into logistics. I ran a couple of warehouses, supervised, managed some trucking companies, and then I got into trucking. So I went from um, being a supervisor to to actually getting into trucking. So I left a job, like left it. I had that ability and that faith to just say, you know what, I just want my own. And that's what I
Mm.
did. Don't be afraid when you're in the job market or when you're just trying to kind of get better. Don't be afraid to try what everybody else ain't doing. So around me, I did not have people, well, I did have a couple of people, but not a lot of people that I knew personally that kind of gave me the roadmap. It's like you just got to take a chance. You
Mm.
said, write it down.
Make it
Scriptures
plain.
talking about write them scriptures down and make it plain so they that read it may run. I wanted to write it down, and I didn't necessarily show it to everybody, but I wanted that thing to be present so I can pay attention to what my vision is. And sure enough, the goal that I set, the business that I wanted, is still profitable to this day. You just have to put yourself and not be afraid to explore, not be afraid to start. Just keep going.
Are you ready to take control of your personal and professional journey? If you are chasing creative goals, building your dream brand, or landing that perfect job, I've got the tools to help you succeed. Need that perfect handheld accountability planner? The Accountability Planner for the Creative Woman is your ultimate companion for staying focused and turning big dreams into actionable steps. Or are you struggling to align your brand with your business goals? Well, the How to Conduct a Brand Analysis Guide breaks it all down, giving you step by step strategies to refine your brand and grow your audience. Or last but not least, for those climbing the corporate ladder, the Resume Toolkit gives you everything you need to craft a standout resume and land your next big role. From day one, I've always let you know that you are the star. So shop with me and take your first steps toward your brightest future. Start your journey to success today. Now, back to the episode. So you talked about the characteristic of leadership. What else did you learn about yourself throughout that transition period of the different um,
Yeah, I'm
functions that you've worked in?
you, my fortitude, and it wasn't easy. I blew my own mind away because when I looked at the numbers, hear me, when I looked at the numbers and I saw what my writing division was, when I seen what my writing division was and I said what I wanted, I over exceeded it.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, I was shocked because at my wife at my wife who has passed away, um
I'm sorry, Eddie.
thank you. My wife looked at me like, well, why you didn't so why you didn't do this early? Well, why you didn't do this earlier? I'm like,
Right.
I mean, because at those times there was a need in our household, right? And I was cool with what I was doing, but sometimes you can get into a situation, and this might not, be what people wanted to hear, but at some point, sometimes we can get so comfortable where we're not meeting our expectations. And sometimes people have better expectations than, and we can get comfortable at being mediocre. We can be comfortable
Mhm.
at just making it. I was comfortable. I was cool. I was all right. But then there came a need in our household, and I'm like, man, I thought we was cool. But I'm like, all right, ladies, if you have a man and you're trying to get him to get to a certain point, give him a task. The task should not be get mad until he gets mad to want to change it. No, say, hey, boo, we need so and so and so and so. If he is a man of integrity, if he's a man of really trying to get where he needs to be, that man is going to see that problem and he's going to want to provide an answer for it. I saw the problem because it was verbalized to me. Here's the thing: I kept getting it before really angrily. I kept getting angry, but I
Why you
guess
were
some
tired of hearing it?
yeah, I wasn't tired of hearing it. No, I wasn't tired of hearing it, but it was her delivery that kept like,
Nagging.
you just nagging, yeah. But
Right.
at some point, it came to a point where it got authentic. Like, okay, maybe she thought, okay, maybe I need to come out this a little better, a little different, and she did. When she came at me a little different, I just said, all right, tell you something. That plan came together fast, and the difference and the provision and the things that I wrote on that paper, we don't understand how powerful what we say is. We don't understand
Mhm.
how powerful. All you have to do is say it and move in that direction. When you move in that direction, you will definitely see so many things happen. You will definitely. So she saw change. She saw change in a year.
Oh wow.
When I tell you, when I took a leap of faith, because I'll tell you, I was at a job in a supervisor position. I was running a second shift. I was probably researching and doing things that I wasn't supposed to do on that shift because I was researching and I'm researching. And I was like, man, I did this already. I made companies millions and millions of dollars. I was like, all right. That night, I wrote my resignation letter. I'd make
Okay.
sure I did everybody's time sheet. It was on a Friday. I would start another job on that Monday because there's steps to this. There's steps. I put my phone contact. I need my last check. All that stuff. I put all that stuff in the email. Boom. I sent it off and I walked out. Say, hey, I'll see y'all later. I walked out like I was walking out any other day to never return. And that has been 2017.
Wow. And it's been
Mhm.
a leap of faith since then.
Yep. Yep. So music is kind of no different, and kind of what I'm pushing in the atmosphere is to really promote love, is really to promote, just really being positive and just taking steps to be great. You can't be great if you don't try.
Yeah, I have a question. I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds.
Sure.
Do you feel like the loss of a partner has fueled your more of an understanding of what love is, and you're able to communicate that in your music?
Yeah, to some degree it is. I've always been that person that was honest with my love towards anything. But when you lose a person that you were connected to for 21 years, it does push that envelope to another level because it's not like you were a bad dude. You did what you had to do for your family. And sometimes um having that loss kind of pushes you, it kind of fuels you a little more. It kind of gives you wings to kind of fly and make a whole lot of things happen a little better. So yes, to answer that question, it does. Yes.
The appreciation and
Thank you.
gratitude
Mm-hmm. Yep.
to have
Yep.
experienced it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And thinking, I'm gonna say this, and not thinking that you're gonna find another one in this earth because
Yeah.
it's just that's probably unfair to you and it's unfair to her. But it's just not going to be something. I'm kind of trying to find what that was. Now I kind of found myself in a place where I could kind of foster a little more things. Everything that I've learned for the past 21 years has helped me be a better
Mhm.
person right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so let's
yeah.
the album now. I did my homework, and it's
Oh,
called Rhythm and Love,
rhythm and
correct?
love. Yo, it's
Rhythm
a
and Love.
volume.
Okay, what inspired you to do the album?
I wanted to do one so bad. It was going to be a full length record, but the way consumers consume music these days is a little
Mhm.
different. So I kind of have to have somewhat of a strategic mind to market the music properly. It was going to be a full length, but I said, you know what? No, let me put out some songs that's going to kind of um be the precursor of what's else to come. So it's always going to be positive. It's always going to be love. It's always going to be R&B. And I just kind of wanted to put something out. I mean, I was on the heels of Your Woman. I was on the heels of off from All Your Woman for Love Is All We Need, the original and the dance version. So this right
Okay.
here needed to be something a little different, and it still kind of helps foster love. My daughter, I'm gonna give you the story. One of the songs on the
Mhm.
record is called Protect Your Heart, right?
Okay.
Protect your
Uh-huh.
protect your heart.
Uh-huh.
ah, okay. So my daughter came to me. She's in college. She's at University of South Carolina.
Oh, shout out to her.
Yeah, studying nursing. So she came to me with an issue, right? She came to me with an issue with a guy she dealt with. And
Okay.
the
Mhm.
guy, the guy was expecting something. And she said to me, Dad, like he didn't know who you were. She didn't know who mommy was. He didn't know my color. He didn't know what color I
Mhm.
like. And he asking for that. I said,
Mhm.
I said, what have we gone to? We don't I said, he don't even know my favorite food. I said, huh? I kind of gave it a rundown, and that song came out of that vibe. I went to Jersey for her birthday, and we were sitting in the hotel room, and I said she had her friends with her because she brought her friends with her from South Carolina, celebrating her birthday. So I let her friends hear it. Her friends said, "Girl, girl, girl." They love the song. I said, "Yo, we got to put this on the record." So it's helping. It says
Mhm.
"Protect Your Heart." You can know what it is. What's your opinion about it? When I think I'm sure you heard it. What did you hear? What did you think?
So is that the one that you had on Facebook?
Is it no? Okay,
Okay,
no, I
so I
don't think
don't
you heard it
think
then.
then I didn't hear that one.
You gonna need to get that. You gonna
Okay.
protect
Okay.
your heart. So I got a song in there called Loved. Um, I got a song in there called Protect Your Heart. I got a song in there called Sweet Summer Day. I got Your Woman I did on there. I redid that on the
Is
live
that the
version.
one that's on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that
Your
kind of gave me the dream feel, kind of like, yeah.
yes. And I got last song Is It You? So
Okay.
it's a whole bunch of different things on that record. I think it's gonna be it's a good start to that's volume one. I have a bunch of volumes that I'm putting out. I got Christmas stuff that I'm putting out. I have another
Mhm.
record that another volume I'm dropping next year, and I'm just working. I'm just kind of putting this love stuff out there. So yeah, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a phenomenal. That's the word I use all the time. It's gonna be a phenomenal, phenomenal record. So pay attention. Pay attention.
Okay. Are you is this your first album?
No, okay. So I was in church, still am in church, still love the church, still love the Lord. I was a worship leader. So I
Okay.
did three records, three full length gospel records. Um,
Okay.
this is going to be my actually first EP R&B. So I
Okay.
don't necessarily call R&B R&B. I'm more of an inspirational sort of guy.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily gospel. It's probably more on the sound of R&B. And if you hear anything that I've done in gospel, you'll see be like, yeah, that's all has that R&B vibe. But I have three gospel records before I'm actually doing this. Love Is All We Need. I dropped last year. I dropped a song called My Wife, which was dedicated to my wife.
Mhm.
um, I dropped Love Is All We Need, the original version, the dance version, and then You're a Woman. So all of those have that R&B feel to it. And those were singles. This is my first EP R&B record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna make sure that in the show
Yeah.
notes people get access to all your music. We want to
Yeah.
promote all your music.
I
What's your
appreciate
favorite song on the album? If out of all the songs that you
it.
have on it, what's your favorite?
Yeah, it'd have to be Protect Your Heart.
Okay.
It like because I mean my daughter really okay, so my daughter came to me with not with the song I did, but just kind of the I just that perspective. I'm like, is that what we doing out here? Is that what it is? And
Oh,
there's
it get
a
worse, baby. Just hold on.
I'm like, wait.
Mhm.
I'll say, okay, so some of the OGs that's out there, help them, help. Like, I'm going to include myself in the helping because this is my way of helping. Either
Yeah. Yeah.
females know, pay attention to these creeps, number one, or it gives somewhat of a Bible to these dudes. This is what you do. I'm not saying it's the end all be all. Everybody's got to follow this guideline. Use it as an example, like because women these days, younger women I saw because I had a conversation with my same those same young ladies. I had a conversation and I asked them, "What is it about this day that's different?" She said, "Women, like girls, more or less will more or less carry these young men." I remember. Okay, so these days the young ones would kind of foster that dysfunction by just giving them some J's in the gaming system and have them
Mhm.
living in their house while they going to work every morning. And I said, wow. I said, wow. I didn't, I knew, but it was like to hear it coming from them. And she said more or less women, girls will foster that than they will want a guy that's like out here doing what he got to do to make his family cool.
Yeah. A baby boy.
I got it. It's just something different about that. So when she came to me with it, I said, and I'm still to this day blown away that that exists.
Yeah.
And
It's a trauma, and and unfortunately our society, through the crack era and the
mm,
other couple of war on our communities.
yes, right.
So when you have parents who parent out of fear,
Mm,
we don't want our kids to be out here shot and this, that, because what we see on TV, oh, this happened today
mm-hmm,
and this happened today. And
mm-hmm,
we parent and we raise boys that don't ever grow up,
I
like a
got an answer for that.
perpetual boy state.
I got an
So
answer for
when
that.
a woman comes in and has
Yeah,
requirements,
yeah,
when you
yeah.
said that your wife had said, listen, this
Mm-hmm,
is, you know what I mean? And within a
mm-hmm,
year, you got that thing together. See
mm-hmm.
that right there.
Yeah, right. I grew up, you know, my father wasn't there 100% of the time,
Hmm.
right? My father wasn't there 100% of the time. So what I said was this, right? Why? And here's my perspective, and I'm grateful to God just to have this mindset. It's just like, why would I want to take that example and perpetuate it? Why would I want to look at that and say, okay, I want to do this for me? And I grew up in that era. I did not want to be that.
Yeah.
I think it's a conscious choice that a person makes. And maybe it is the era. Maybe it is what was put out here in these streets during that era. Maybe it is just that. Maybe it is that. I don't know. But at some point, we have to take responsibility. As we grow, we have to put, like I said earlier, we have to put ourselves in situations. We have to put ourselves
Hmm.
in rooms and get around people that's going to help foster a better mindset. You know what I mean? My question to the younger men would be kind of what rooms are you putting yourself with? Okay, if everybody that you're around is kind of into foolishness, at some point you got to be somewhat like yo, I don't really feel like doing that. Like at some point somebody's got to say either I don't want to be around that, like not even either, like I don't want to be around it. Like find a way to make you better for you to know it. And I'm not ignorant that younger cats doesn't know that, hey, I ain't want to pin on, I don't want to pin on that girl like that. Like why narcissistic minds say one thing but do another. They don't want to be in a situation like that. They want provision. They want better for themselves, but they still put themselves in the creek. So those are I think we need to massage those areas so younger men would know or find out. Because let me tell you something, women and younger women alike are going to get it. Do you hear me? It's not a game. For women, when they say they don't need a man, I get it. I feel you. They may not need a man for certain things. They may need man for certain things, but when it comes to getting this bag and this money, y'all going to get the degrees, y'all going to get the doctorates, everything attached to it, the end, whatever it is, y'all going to get it in every area that we know on this earth. y'all killing the game.
Yeah.
And you say it like, yeah, like,
It's a fact.
yeah. I'm and until us men really understand that, I think the value that we place on ourselves, we need to kick that up a little more.
Mhm.
Like kick that up. Like perpetuate that. Not that they're trying to be the lead, but that they're tired of men with that, give them a pair of J's in a video console and sit in the front of the TV and watch it while I go to work.
Mhm.
Because at some point, you're gonna find that value in somebody else. And homeboy, you could take your J's and your gaming systems and go sit on somebody else's couch because you ain't gonna deal with that no more. Nah, it's a little more than that. We got to put forth some more effort to make sure that we're as valuable as we need to be. We are needed in our homes. We are needed in relationships. We are needed in this world. We have to
Absolutely.
just kind of, promote that a little more. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that kind of leads into my last question for you is what
hmm
legacy do you hope that you leave behind with your music?
Positivity, love, just what it is. I just want to leave that in the earth. I want to make sure that everything that my voice touches, that my hands even produce, that it leaves a lasting mark of love and positivity. We're blessed as artists with gifts that we didn't even ask for. And for us, so many of us to take those gifts and use it for any other reason but to promote love and happiness and positivity, I think we're doing a disservice to our gift. So it's important that we become what we sing about. It's important that we put forth that energy in the world, and that's that legacy I want to keep there.
Okay, well, thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that. And I
You're welcome.
appreciate you for being here
Thank you
today.
so much.
So your album is coming out July 10th.
Yep,
Is
July
it
10th.
a time? Some say it might be
Look,
midnight.
look, you can pre-order it right now. Just go on my page. You'll see the pre-order. You can
Okay.
pre-order. You can pre-order. It's not expensive at all. It's you need it in your arsenal. You need it. You need it. You need it. It is something that, as they will say, it will really bless your heart for sure. For sure.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you. We want to
Yeah.
include everything about Kenny J in the show notes, how you can find his music. So please go out and support. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, everyone, take care. You hold on. I'm going to send you off the right way. But with everybody else, we will see you next episode. Take
All right.
care, everyone.
Salute. Salute everybody.